So now I'm going to talk about consecutive connections. So I'm going to click into this consecutive connections right here. And it's going to show me some static source information that does not change between reporting periods. So on the left over here, I have some static source information that is listed here from our SWRCB database. If there's any issues with this, it cannot be changed by the user. It must be changed by our district or LPAs. And then I have a number of questions about these consecutive connections. The first question is on maximum capacity. This is the flow rate question. So if you know that your source produces, 500 gallons per minute, this is your maximum capacity they can produce. This is what you can rely on the source to produce. Now, if you have a limitation on how much you can take on a daily basis, let's say you can only take 500 gallons per day. Well, you're very quickly going to run into that limit with this GPM. But this is intended to say, is there a restriction on how much you can take on a daily basis from this supplier? So if you have a water contract with that person, is there any restrictions on that contract that restrict your daily consumption? So if you had to rely on this, could you really rely on it to meet your demand? We'll also ask that question for monthly, where you can put if there's a monthly limitation or if there's an annual limitation. We're going to ask that we put that there. And the last question is whether you have the ability to utilize the intertype. So it's either available as needed or it's currently unavailable. Like if you have to run a high line or you have to get approval from the other person before you can even start it, you have to create a contract even before you can start it, I would consider that unavailable. But if it's available as needed, if all you have to do is go out there, turn a valve, make a call, then that I would suggest would be available as needed. Going to save that. All that information shows up in the static source information, and it will not ask me time over time to provide that same information. Here's that same question from before. Did you utilize this source during the reporting period? If you just ran it for testing, if you just ran it for sampling, then I would mark no, I didn't utilize it. But if you utilize this source, then you're going to be asked to provide the amount produced or received during reporting period. It's very similar to the other one. It just says received instead of produced. The date measured is fixed, and the only thing that needs to be provided is the units of measure. There's an optional source comments box here. You do not have to provide anything here, but we will accept that to be provided. And then you have the summary of all of the production that you have entered across all reporting periods listed here. Okay, I'm going to continue on to hauled water. Under hauled water, this is very specific to truck haulers, right? Truck haulers, there's other types of hauling out there. This is very specific to utilizing hauled water to supplement your water system's sources. So if I have a facility name, my test hauler company, I'm going to be asked a couple of questions about this source because we have no record of this source showing up in our database. So we're going to ask you, are you purchasing it or are you not purchasing it? Like is someone else delivering it to you, maybe like Self-Help Enterprises delivering it to you, maybe it's not purchased, or if you're buying it from a water hauler that's licensed, then you could purchase it. We're going to ask about the quality of the water, whether it's groundwater or surface water. We're going to ask for the hauled water quality on delivery. Was it delivered as surface water and not treated? Then it'd be non-potable. But if it was delivered as groundwater from a public water system that was meeting compliance, then it might have been potable groundwater. And then we're asking how you're utilizing the hauled water usage. So be very careful here. If you're utilizing hauled water for non-potable use, this does not affect you. And the amounts that are listed here simply go into the non-potable supply section for hauled water. However, if you say that you are using it for potable use through the distribution system or potable use not through the distribution system, you have now entered into a category of water systems that is reliant on hauled water to meet their day demand. And if you mark that, you're going to be flagged for technical support, you're going to be flagged for funding support, and you're also going to be flagged for additional reporting. Additional reporting on a weekly and monthly basis for your water system. So be careful on adding a new hauled water system. Make sure you know what you're doing and that it is appropriate for your water system, because it could mean a whole lot more scrutiny coming your way. We're definitely going to be asking a lot of questions if we see this come up. Okay. Here we're asking if how available your facility is. So permanent means it's available at all times. Emergency, might just be for a short period of time, maybe for a flood or an earthquake or a fire. You might be reliant on that and it didn't go through to the distribution system. Maybe it's on a seasonal basis. You ask for this every season as you're starting up your system or as you run into an issue with your source every season, or an interim period until something is built, some new source is built. We're going to use this for a time, but it's going to end. Then we're going to ask what the public water system ID is that you're purchasing the water from. So normally, if you purchase hauled water, you're going to want to make sure that the source of that hauled water is in an approved water system. So if you're a community water system and you're buying hauled water, you better be sure that the person on the other side is not just a community water system. That community water system is not giving you their worst quality well that's out of compliance for 5 years, but they're actually giving you their treated water that's in compliance. And we're going to check that by you being able to enter either the water system number of the system, or you can also enter the name of the water system. It should show up here. If it's a potable water system, it'll be added here. We're also asking if the water hauler is certified. Hopefully it is. If it's used for potable usage, should be certified by California Department of Public Health. So you can answer yes, and you'll be asked to provide the hauler license number. And if you answer no, nothing will show up. And if you answer unknown, nothing will show up. So I'm going to save that. And the only questions left for hauled water, actually, I didn't see it show up, but the only other question left for hauled water is very similar to consecutive connections. There it is. Did you obtain water from this hauler during the reporting period? And let's say you didn't. Then you don't have to provide a volume of hauled water if you didn't utilize it. But if you used it, then you are asked to provide the volume of hauled water obtained during this reporting period, very similar to the others. And there's a source comments field that you can add in here to add more details. Save. Okay, I have now completed entry of source reporting to the satisfaction of source reporting, because source reporting is no longer yellow, it is red. And I will stop recording now.